Someone with a certification? You had, eh? What product? Honey. What else? I saw you with so many products. Just honey. So at least you know what we do when we talk about certification. Anyone who is at the end of this session wants to do the application so that we can take them through the process? Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have so many of them. So karibuni sana. We are happy to welcome you at the KEBS headquarters. My name is Faith Richu. I'm in marketing and customer care department, specifically in marketing. And I'm going to take you through the process, the first presentation on who KEBS is and what we do. So karibuni sana. KEBS is a government body under the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. Situtaendewa hiyo department, and that is why we are working very closely with MCEA and the other partners that are here to facilitate trade. So that is our main mandate, and our vision is to be a global leader in standard-based solution for trade and sustainable development. What's our mission? It's about standardization, providing standards which are solutions to every manufacturer, to any researcher, to anybody who would be willing to interact with the standard to know what we are talking about when we are talking about a standard, and we will see what a standard is. We develop the standards that are there, that are not there. We also benchmark with other countries to see whether we can be able to borrow something from the international standards, and then we set a team. We will see that as we go by. Then in metrology, which is the science of measurement, we also do conformity assessment services. That is about testing and making sure that your processes are right. What's our motto as KEBS? Standards. For what? For quality life. So it's everything is about standards. We have a beautiful house there, a very beautiful house that is founded on our core values, which is customer focus, professionalism, integrity, sustainability, and team spirit, and patriotism. That is the foundation of the core pillars and the core foundation that guide Kenya Bureau of Standards. Then we have the strong pillars up there, which is trade facilitation, and we do technical services and offer advice, and also we have standards that are, all is about standards that we talked about. It's the main pillar. Then the vision and mission that we have talked about is as per above. Those are the roofs now. We are the national standards body in Kenya. Every country, you will find a standards body there. We have heard about Tanzania Bureau of Standards, we have heard about Kenya Bureau of Standards, we've heard about Uganda National Bureau of Standards. We go to Rwanda, there is a standards body. So Kenya is the standards body. You will not find anybody else making standards because we are mandated to do that. So if you hear ISO certified or ISO certification, they are certified with the standards, and we are the custodians of the standards. We started our operations in 2004, so we are very old enough to be able to guide you on standards and product certification. And we are guided by, we exist through the Standards Act Cap 496 of the laws of Kenya, and our operations are also guided by 5-year strategic plan. Right now we are on 2022-2027 and performance contract. Every year we have to sign a performance contract with the government, and they will tell us what they want us to do every year. At the end of the year, we have to present what we have done, whether we have met the deadlines, and whether we have done anything and everything that we have promised our government to do in support of what the government is all about. At the end of the day, my balance scorecard will also be checked. So the staff, every staff member, we are guided by our balance scorecards, which are also based on the performance contract indicators that are given. So every person will tell you, what am I supposed to be doing? And by the end of the year, I will present what I will have done. All that we do to make sure that our country is going in the right direction as far as standardization and conformity in quality is concerned. So we talked about standardization, the standardization services, and I talked about the standard. I have a standard, I have a product, honey here. I have honey in Baringo. I have honey in Nyeri, Mombasa, Kirifi, where else, Meru, every corner of this country. What will guide these people to come up with a quality product? It is the guideline of the standard. CDO. So every standard, every product has its own standard. And so the people in that industry are supposed to work with the requirements of that standard. Munaelewa? So we have conformity assessment services that we have talked about. We test the products. We also check your processes to see whether you are working as per the standards and as per the requirements of the government. It means we will work with them even with other people. That is why we have KRA here. Because we cannot start with you before you start with KRA. Sedio? You start with KRA, you have your business registered. Then after that, you will go to KILD, you will go to KIA, you will go to KIPI to protect your products. And so in where we train on issues of quality and standardization. In fact, they are the ones who are housing us now. You've seen NQI House here. That is the National Quality Institute. They will train you through the standard, and then our certification body will come and see and also audit you to see whether you are working as per the guidelines in the standard. So the standard, we have said it's a document. It is a document that will be used by all in the same industry. Sedio, tumeelewa that if you have honey here, honey there, honey the other side, what will guide all these people in coming up with quality honey? It is the standard. It will give you the guidelines. It will tell you what the requirements are, right from the start to the end, right from packaging to the end. And even our officers coming to the ground to check whether you are conforming, they will check all that, and then they will guide you on anything that will be required for you to be right as per the guidelines of the standard. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kipto. Huyo ameona nina struggle kuangalia huko na kule. So there you can see what it's all about, the benefits of the standards. Standards, they reduce trade barriers, they facilitate export and import, they help in you getting new markets, they ensure free and fair trade. Because the standard that will be used by an SME is the same standard that will be used by, give me an example of somebody who is competing with someone making beauty products. Somebody who is here, somebody with beauty products, who is a competitor, a big competitor. Yes, exactly. So you are using the same standard, but we have the basic requirements of the standard. So both of you You or whoever, Unilever and the others, I don't want to mention because there are many. Nice and lovely. There are many. All of them are being guided by the same standard, whether an SME, whether a big player in the market, because we want to give that fair trade and fair platform that is for all. So that is the benefit of the standard. And we also give the codes of practice. We have the standards here. Our library people are ready for you. Whoever would want a standard on any product, whatever is not there, we will guide you on how to go about it. If you have come up with an innovation, usiiweke tu chini. We will work together with you and the experts that are there to make sure that you get your product certified with a standard that will be existing, so that we are all equal. Sedio? And if the standard is not there, you will help us because you have the expertise. We will have the research people. We will have the government. We will have KEBS is just a secretariat. And there are many benefits there that come there. The competitiveness, if you are just making that soap and staying with it at home, you will be selling to who? To your neighbor, you'll be selling to your friend, and you'll be selling to your village people. Ukizunguka, sana, sana. So at the end of the day, you'll be very tired. Whereas, if you had the certification by Kenya Bureau of Standards, you just approach a supermarket. Now, my product has been certified by KEBS, and they will give you a shelf where you can place your product, and your market will be wider. And you'll be very happy to know that your product will be accepted by all. No query because you are not hiding. Sedio? Because if you don't want certification, it means there is something yenye. Is it about quality? You are not sure whether it is right. Is it about KRA and the other people that we work with? It means there is something you are shying of. But we are here to make sure that you come out of that, and we will take you through the process together with our partners. Whoever is not there, we can consult them, and they will guide you on what you need so that you can be straight and get help to be able to compete with the others in the market. The sale of standards, I have talked about our library here at the headquarters and even in the regions. And you can also buy online. And then once you pay, you'll be able to access the standard, or you can get a hard copy. Then the quality assurance, I have Veronica with me. I'm sure she will take you through the process. Some people even here are asking me, what quantities am I supposed to bring to KEBS? Veronica will tell you that you don't bring a product for us to test and to give you certification. We come to the ground. We check what you are doing. You take us through the process. Then at the end of the day, we will take a sample and then we bring it ourselves. Take it to the lab, it is tested, and then we get the results. If the results are conforming to the standards, we give you the mark. Sedio? So those are the marks that we give on the products that we have certified. We have the first mark there. It is called the standardization mark. It is a mandatory mark for all the locally manufactured products. And that is what I said. This mark is mandatory, and this mark is for all of us. It means you have met the basic requirements of the standard for you to get this mark. But after that, you can say, I want to get a mark of excellence, which is not mandatory. The second mark, which is the diamond mark of quality. You've seen products with the standardization mark and the diamond mark of quality, and you're asking, how many of these marks am I supposed to get? And then there are others with another mark there. So you can find a product with standardization mark, because after that, you want to compete with that person who has been there to make sure that your product is also excellent. Excellent. So you will come and take you through the process, because it's a different process, and then we will make sure that we give you the diamond mark of excellence if you qualify. Then we have the import standardization mark. This is for all the imported products. Every country we have an agency who is supposed to test on our behalf. You get your product tested, and once it has been tested at the borders, you will find us there waiting for you. Has it been tested? No. So it means we keep it there, we test. If it fails, what will happen? We ship or we destroy. Sedio? So it is good to get in touch with our agents, and through our website, you can be able to see we have engaged through PVOC program. It's called PVOC, Pre-Export Verification on Conformity. And then at the port, you will present the results, and then your product will get that mark. You can see there is a mark on the side. That mark is the consignment number. So it means you cannot have a number with another consignment. It will be specific to you. And same to the standardization mark and the diamond mark of quality. Once we certify the product, we will give you a permit. That is your certificate to show that your product is conforming, isn't it? The permit number, you are supposed to display it there. Already I have seen some of us using the mark, but with no number below. That means that is not known. That number, as much as we are concerned, and the people who are aware that you are supposed to have a number below, it means the number, the mark is just there. It is not helping you, and even you as a person, and the people who are using your product, because they can query. They can be able to check whether the mark is genuinely issued by KEBS and for that particular product. So huwezi upate ya honey na uweke kwa sabuni. Sidio? Because the test is different, the procedure for testing is different, and so if you have 3 products, every product will have its own number certificate. Sidio? So the number is what you display below, so that you also are able to go into the market and see, is there someone else using my number? And you can report to us. So the number there called 1545 is where you report cases, you report issues. So we will get issues with your product when we find that you have put up a mark or a number that is not for your product. And you also as a consumer, because you are not consuming your products only, si utakula mkate, si utakula bluebird, si utararia mattress, si utanunua something that is not related to your products. How are you supposed to do that? The number that we have talked about, the SM, there is a hash, and then you put your permit number. You send it to 20023 as a text. It will give you a message of who the manufacturer is, what the product is, when the permit was issued by KEBS, and when it is expiring. Because the validity of the permit is 2 years. Every 2 years, we repeat the process, and you get your product, your permit renewed. The food fortification is for those people who are making oils, cooking oils, spreads like bluebird, those people who are doing unga, chapati ya unga. So we have seen this in that. Watu wenye wako na chumvi, those are the 3 products that have been marked by the Ministry of Health to make sure that those products are fortified. It's called food fortification mark. So once we are talking about fortification, it's about adding something that is not naturally found in that product, isn't it? Like for salts, what do we fortify with? To prevent goiter. Sedio? Then you will find vitamin A, vitamin B, you'll find zinc, you will find minerals added into those products, and that means you have fortified the product. It is now mandatory by the Ministry of Health, such that hata nikikula ugali peke yake, sio unga tu, there is something else it's adding to my body. Those are the 3 products they identified, because you will find them in every household. Then we have a department called Metrology and Testing. In metrology, it's about the science of measurements. When you go to the hospital and the doctor tells you your blood pressure is high, your temperature is high, what is it based on? The equipment that they are using. Sidio, wanakupima wanakwambia your temperature is very high. What if maybe the thermometer has a problem? Maybe you are not even sick. Maybe you don't even require that medicine because you are not sick. But the thermometer has not been calibrated by KEBS. It means it will give you wrong readings, and you end up getting wrong medication, and you end up getting sick. And you are not sick at the beginning. Sidio? So you have a right to ask, mbona jana nilijipima na nikapata niko 100 kgs and today I'm 80? Has this equipment been calibrated by KEBS? You have a right to ask that, and they will know that our people are demanding for quality, and they will go looking now for KEBS, so that we can go calibrating the equipment and make sure that the measurements that are there are correct. Beauty product, the bluebird, when you weigh, it's supposed to be how many grams? It's supposed to be how many kgs? Maybe the weighing scale inakunyang'anya kitu, a few of your coins still. Sidio? It means we are in the industry, we are in hospitals and all the measurement areas that we have in the country. So testing laboratories, we have them at the headquarters and everywhere in the regions. What is not in the regions, it's here. So name it. Mabati tunapimia hapa. Cement tunaangalilia hapa. Bulbs tunaangalilia hapa. Hizi materials nimeona wengine wanatengeneza nguo tunaangalilia hapa, the strength, the color fastness, all those. So our labs are just behind us. See the first gate you saw, there's an entrance to the labs. Food labs, beauty products, name it. We have all the laboratories that are well equipped and competing with the other countries. And we also go benchmarking with the other countries such that a test that has been done here, the results that our people in the testing laboratory will get. If you take your product to South Africa for testing, they will give the same results. So they are traceable internationally. So that is our person doing testing in our labs. Then we have market surveillance. Once we have certified you, we have Mr. Nsezia here. He will tell you that the people in marketing will preach the gospel. The quality assurance people will come and make sure that you are following the standard. But the surveillance people will even go to the supermarket and buy your product and take it to the lab and test. If it fails, they are free to withdraw your product from the market. They are free to burn it for sale. They are free to destroy. They are free to do what? To prosecute you. They will take you to court and you'll be answerable. Because when we start this process with you, it is an agreement. Inaitwa wajibika na KEBS. Sidio? So wewe wajibike, sisi tuwajibike, and the consumer awajibike. By us making sure that the products are tested and they are giving the correct results. Making sure that we have sold the standards to you and you are complying with the standards. Then the manufacturer is manufacturing as per the requirements of the standards. Pia anawajibika. And you as a consumer, you are complaining so that we can be able to follow up what is in our market and we can be able to rectify and follow up. Otherwise, ukipata kitu tu na unaitupa unasema kazi ya KEBS, sioni kazi yao. How are we helping each other? But if you report to us through the 1545 that I've talked about, we will be able to work together and we will make sure that the manufacturer is followed to make sure that they are coming up with the right products. Sisi tuwajibike sisi wote, sidio? So market surveillance, they are here, they will tell you what they do in the market and how they can make sure that you are not in the market. Then we have the National Quality Institute. I've talked about National Quality Institute. Welcome, Rose. Rose will tell you what they do in the labs. National Quality Institute, I've said that they are just here. They will train you on how to use the standard. And we have two types of standards. We have products certification, product standards, and we have systems. Si tumeelewa? So you have seen a university or a training institute saying we are KEBS certified, a hospital saying we are ISO certified. It means even the systems we are certifying. So you follow the standards, then in your systems you can still come back and ask for certification on ISO certification, international standardization for organization for standardization. So our National Quality Institute will take you through the process. A university is here. They are promising, or they have said their procedure says that for you to be a doctor, you have to have an A. Sidio? Then our certification body wakuja wafanye audit. Wapate, there is a student there who had scored a C, and they are in the same class with someone who had an A. Isn't there a problem there? It means you are not following the standard, you are not following the procedures that you have put in place. So we will train you on the standard, and then our certification body will come and see whether you are following the standard. They will audit your systems and give you the ISO certification with those marks. So you have the first mark that is applicable to all, even you. The ISO 9001 and 2015 quality management systems. If this is what you have said, that this is your procedure, you will receive raw materials. From raw materials, you will put them far from where the finished product is. The procedures that you have done yourself will audit you with that. And once you conform, that is when you qualify for the marks, the ISO certification through our certification body. It's opposite here, where we are having an exhibition. You will see the certification body there. Then in conclusion, KEBS is committed to its partnerships aimed to encourage innovation, promote safe products in the market, and to facilitate trade. I don't know if there is someone who has a burning question, but that is a brief of what we do as Kenya Bureau of Standards, and we'll be able to interact more later. Any burning question? Yes.
Hi, for those who came late, my name is Karimi. And now, a lot of questions, some of which I was writing as you went along. By the way, before I go any further, Faith, this lady here, oh, she's just an iron lady. This lady, I met her in the morning, and then everybody else came, nataka meza, nataka nini. She was just very calm under so much pressure. So I really, really, yeah, Faith. Oh my God, she is so gentle. She is so calm. For me, I'll just be like all over the place. Rushia mtu mikono leo asubuhi, lakini she was just so calm and everything was running late, but she just maintained her cool. Yeah. So anyway, now KEBS. Question number 1, the standardization. Now that we are speaking of the EAC as a common market for everybody, if my product is KEBS certified, can I take it to Tanzania or Uganda without any manenos hapo katikati? Then county offices, do I have to deal with Nairobi office or Mombasa for that matter? Are you in every county in Kenya? Then the other question I wanted to ask is languages, okay? Several supermarkets in this country have products which are only in Chinese. So I don't know what I'm eating, I don't know what I'm buying. Is there a requirement that products that are imported are translated into English and Swahili, for that matter? And then, yes, the elephant in the room. Can I bribe for my substandard product to be passed by KEBS? Hapo nimemaliza.
Questions, and we will be able to answer them. What we are not able to answer, we will call experts, even from their offices, to come and deal with the question, but we will try as much as we can. I will answer one. Number 1, we are in the main towns. We are here at the headquarters covering Machakos. We have Mombasa office, we have Nakuru office, we have Kisumu, we have Nyeri, we have Meru, we have Eldoret, we have Garissa, Kisii, all those areas. There is a KEBS office. So with the brochures that we will give you at the back, you'll be able to see what areas we are in and who is the nearest to you so that you can query. Number 2, we do harmonization of standards. We will get you a standard to see what we mean when we say we are harmonizing our standards. We have KEBS, Kenya Standard, EAS, East African Standard. It means the standard being used here is used within East Africa, and we accept each other's marks. So a product coming with UNBS mark from Uganda, unless we have a question about it, our surveillance people will tell us, they will allow it. If you have a TBS mark, Tanzania Bureau of Standards mark by the Tanzania Bureau of Standards, we will allow your product. But tukiangalia hivi market surveillance, ione iko na question mark, we can retest to make sure that it's safe for our people. Louisa has gone out. About bribe. Was it the third one? What was the other one? The languages. The languages. in the standard that you get, it is very clear that you are supposed to label your product in a language that we are able to understand. So that means the product that is there, they are not working with the standards that we are using. But our market surveillance people will tell us what they do with such products. So you are supposed to clearly indicate with a language that we are able to understand. Kama ni Kiswahili Kizungu, not in Kikuyu, because Aluo will buy that product. Kisi will buy that product. In English or Swahili, well displayed, and the standard will guide you. About Rose, you have an answer to something.
Good morning. We still have 3 minutes to afternoon. When it comes to labeling, when it comes to product labeling, we have a standard. There is KEBS 39 and 38. So if a product has to come through the process of certification or inspection or quality assurance, labeling has to pass. And it has to be legible and in a language that we understand. The next question, kindly put a capital note. You cannot bribe your way to the market with the substandard products. If you find a way, whichever way which you might not understand, the system will catch up with you either through quality assurance, through market surveillance, and through anti-counterfeit, other national entity. Thank you.
You are free to come and ask for an appointment to see our MD. You know, you want to see our MD, you can call 1545 and report the cases. If you find somebody saying that I'm a KEBS person coming to your place, you are also supposed to query through the 20023, because you are supposed to have their national ID, my job ID. It has the ID number on this one, and the other one has the national ID number. So compare, are the two numbers the same? My ID on my job card and the national ID. And then my HR number is 892. HR hash 892. You query to 20023. It will tell you I'm Faith Minor, working as a marketer. So I'm not supposed to come to you harassing you because I'm in marketing. The quality assurance people and the market surveillance people wako na kazi yao. So I'm supposed to say which department am I in and why am I here. Either market surveillance, quality assurance to pick you up something, or so there are the ways. No, it doesn't have to be a KEBS person. There are people who are even making IDs, but you can even excuse yourself for a minute. Call 1545. We will put you through to a HR person to confirm if this person is from Kenya Bureau of Standards. So we hope we have answered. I want to welcome Veronica to do
Thank you very much, members of this semis. I'm Nicholas Nzesia from Market Surveillance. You have heard market surveillance being mentioned every time. I want to answer the language you have talked about. Yes, we know we find them, the ones which are labeled in Chinese and other languages. Those ones are candidates of CISA and then destruction. We seize and bring them here in KEBS, and then we plan for destruction with NEMA. So we do it. We also have the whistleblower. If you see something which is not labeled, you can complain to us, and we follow up. Because we cannot be everywhere. We also few officers. So we need those from you, intelligence from you guys. You tell us this is not working, this is a bad product in the market, we will come and remove them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will continue interacting and getting answers to the questions that are also not coming out. A burning question?
My name is Mwangi Boto. For natural products, say like honey, which if you get honey from Baringo or from another part of the country, obviously they are going to be different. The same as we are, people are different. How do you get standards for that? That's number one. Two, there are products that we consume every day, like tomatoes, onions. Some of them have a lot of pesticides. Where do you come in?
Okay. There is this one.
Good morning. Yes, I'm Jonathan Moya. So I'm under logistics. We do deliveries and ride hailing. So my question is, service providing industry, do they need to be certified by KEBS? And what are the specific standards that KEBS is putting in place to support such kind of industries? Thank you.
We talked about system certification, and that is where you fall in. But when we are talking about standards, it's about the process that you are going through when we are talking about quality of a product. So if it's about milk, it's right from the ground to the shelf or to the consumer's house. So somewhere in between we can come in, and if you have a query even on the products that you are delivering, we can be able to check where. Is it our mandate? Is it our area of concern that we can be able to help? I want to put your question to the next session because Veronica is here to take us through the quality assurance, the process, the products, and she will be able to answer even in her presentation. Karibu, Veronica.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Good afternoon again, manufacturers and members of quality. My name is Veronica Kivengia. I'll take you through the quality assurance and what it entails. My colleague has spoken a lot when doing KEBS in brief, so I'll go straight to exactly what you need or the information you need. This is the directorate where you first interact with the inspectors once you have done your application, and I know that is where you'll have a lot of concern. So this, under Quality Assurance and Inspection Directorate, we have the Quality Assurance Department. We offer technical handouts on production of quality goods to industry. So you as a manufacturer, once you come up with that idea of the product you want to develop, and you start the process and you want that product to be certified, so this is the department that you'll interact with. Then you have also been told about the imported products and the controls that Kenya Bureau of Standards has put in place with regard to that product. So these are very familiar marks. We have been spoken to about them. So I'll go straight to the detail of each. The first mark is the standardization mark, and that is where most of us belong, because we are local manufacturers and we want our products to be certified so that our products can be able to access the market. So I know the first question would be, where do I start? I already have my products, I've done my development, I need to release these products to the market. So where do we start? In this particular mark, we start by doing the online application process. And even before we start doing the application process for the product certification, as manufacturers, we need to understand our product. Remember, this is your product. You need to have a clear understanding of what product you want to make and whether it is safe for your consumers, so that you don't release a product which you cannot consume yourself. So I'll take you through the product certification. I know you might be asking yourself, why do I have my product certified? So under the standardization mark, these are mandatory mark. It's not voluntary. For all locally produced manufactured products, they must bear the standardization mark. And the output of that is that permit for you to be able to sell that product. It's a mandatory mark. It has a legal basis, just in case you could be asking yourself, why is KEBS making us go through the process of having our product certified? There's a legal basis in that. So we have the Standards Act, CAP 496, Section 10, that talks about the standardization mark being a mandatory mark. Then we have the ESC SQMT Act, Section 24. I heard someone ask about moving your product from this country to another country and whether there are any other regulations. These standards have been harmonized, and KEBS is still in the process of harmonizing these standards. That is why when you're interacting with these standards, you realize we have the national standards. We call them the Kenya standards. Then we have the East African standards. That standard indicates the fact that it has been harmonized from the national standard to the East African standard. So for that particular product, if you go to Uganda, for example, they will not have a Uganda standard for that product. They will have the East African standard for that product. If you go to Tanzania, you will not find a Tanzanian standard being implemented for that product. They will be implementing the East African standard, simply because the standard has been harmonized to ensure that there is cross-border transaction that can happen. So we are still in the progress of harmonizing these standards. So in case you meet another standard which is still a national standard, know that we are still in the progress of harmonizing all the standards to the East African standards. The objective of product certification, these are just some of the highlights. It gives you the confidence of what it is that you are releasing to the market. And it also gives you a confidence as a consumer, not even as a manufacturer now, as a consumer, of what it is that you are taking. That a third party has been able to cross-check and attest to that product is fit for consumption. So we have different categories of manufacturers, and I think this is one area that is very important to all of us, because the moment you start the journey to product certification, especially now that the application is online, a frequent question is, where do I belong? What is my category? So it is very important for us as manufacturers to understand where we belong. If we are SMEs, we are starters, we are in the Juakali sector, we know that we belong to the smallest group. And that is the group that KEBS is really focused about, so that we can be able to uplift this group. So we have three categories. We have the lowest category, which is the SME. Then we have the middle category, which is the medium. Then we have, of course, the large manufacturers. The reason as why this categorization was done is for us to be able to support the lowest group. Because the moment we categorize all manufacturers as large manufacturers, then the SMEs will have to suffer, because they will incur a lot of charges and they are already not fit for that charge. So in the lowest category, the charges are 10,000, a maximum of 3 products, and any other additional product now, you are also confirming to yourself that you are no longer an SME, isn't it? And this is exclusive of VAT. This permit is valid for 2 years. And within the 2-year cycle, you will not be charged any other fee, even for the testing of that product within the certification cycle. For medium, 3 products, the charges are 20,000, exclusive of VAT. A maximum of 3 products. And the same case applies, and any other additional product will be charged 10,000. What is important for us to note here is that this certification is per product, per brand, per site. It is very important for us as manufacturers when you are developing standards, identify your product with a brand, because we are also building a brand, isn't it? We have a lot of products in the market, but what is your brand? What is it that you are trying to push into the market? Then once you have identified this brand, and possibly you have patented this brand, then now you can be able now to market freely your brand, so that now your brand can be able to grow. So that particular brand is that what will be certified for that particular product and at that site. For example, you are doing product Veronica, and the brand is KEBS, and the site is in South Sea. If you happen to do another product, Veronica, and the brand is KEBS, and the site is Nyeri, that is a different permit. Tunaelewana? So the certification is per product, per brand, per site. So for large manufacturers, as you can be able to see, they are charged an inspection fee. If you look at that inspection fee, it is more than all the fees for the large and the medium combined. Sawa sawa. What does that one tell you? That one tells you that KEBS is committed and is focused in supporting the MSMEs. Sawa sawa. So if you are under the category of the SMEs and the MMEs, kindly take advantage of the 3 products. The 3 products, identify products which you can be able to do, clump them together, do the application, and get advantage of those fees, which is applicable for MSMEs. As I said, the permit is valid for 2 years. No charges in between the certification cycle. Tests will be carried out in between the certification cycle during the surveillance inspections, and you will not be charged for those testing. So someone may be asking, how were the fees based on? So these fees are based on a turnover, and not just only the turnover. There are also other aspects that we consider as inspectors when you are trying to do this categorization. And in most cases, you will find that when you are doing the application, most probably you didn't know very well your category, or you were not very sure of your category, or you were very sure of your category such that you gave us the right information, but when you went to the next step to generate the invoice, then you get a shock. Then you realize, no, I'm not a large manufacturer. Yet, you had already categorized yourself as a large manufacturer. In such scenario, you don't have to get stuck. You can always communicate to that effect. However, it is subject to inspection. We have to come to your site. We inspect the process to ensure that you are in the right category where you placed yourself. In case, for example, you categorize yourself as small, then we come to your site during the inspection, and then we realize, actually, your firm is as big as Kenya Bureau of Standards. You have 200 employees. The machinery is worth billions and billions of money. Definitely, we will have to advise you that this is not your category. Kindly allow us to put you in the right category. Sawa sawa. So it is always important for you to know that once you have done the categorization, the officer who will come on site will be able to guide you and tell you whether you are in the right category, whether you have been overcharged or you have been undercharged, and that you'll be placed in the right category. So that turnover, was a guide through the MSEA Act on the categorization of our local manufacturers. So other than the standardization mark, we have the diamond mark of quality. This is a mark of excellent quality based on excellent performance. So that diamond mark, that is the second mark in that leaflet. That diamond mark, you want to tell the other manufacturers and your consumers that your products are exceedingly expectations. So you can acquire that diamond mark. It's a very stringent mark. Very thorough inspections and quality checks are done for you to qualify to have this mark on your products. And as you can see, the fee is also high, and the validity for this mark is 4 years. Once your product acquires the diamond mark, it automatically acquires the standardization mark. So you don't need to keep on paying for the standardization mark. Once the mark expires within 2 years, because the validity period for standardization mark is 2 years, then it will automatically renew the S mark based on the diamond mark of quality. This diamond mark of quality is applicable to both local manufacturers and also our external manufacturers. It is good for our external manufacturers because of the goods that are coming into the country, so that they can have an easy access to our market. The same case to our local manufacturers, this diamond mark will give you an easy access to the external markets. Remember, as much as we want a lot of maybe people to still bring their products in this country, we also want to take our products to their countries. But the question would be, are our products meeting the local standards for them to meet the external standards? Because if our products are able to meet the national standards, then it is very easy for these products to be able to meet the external products. We have another certification called the Food Fortification Logo. As my colleague had said about the Food Fortification Logo, this is for specific products that have been identified by the Ministry of Health. So we are implementing this on behalf of the Ministry of Health for fortification of classified, identified products. You have seen in the outlets and maybe in our homes some of these products, like the wheat flour, the maize flour, the edible oils, and the salts that have been fortified. Once you have such kind of products, when you are applying for the standardization mark, it goes hand in hand with the food fortification logo. And the validity is still aligned to 2 years. Still, the same case applies for diamond mark. The certification is per product, per brand, per site. So if you are doing certification, maybe you are doing your manufacturing in a country like, for example, you're doing it in Germany, then you have another site in Italy. Those are totally different sites. So the charges and the inspection is applicable for each site. So let us start the journey of product certification. And this is now where we first interact with the system. This is the KEBS online system. I don't know how many of us have been able to log into this system, maybe by show of hand, so that I can know the people I'm talking to. Anybody who has tried to log in, only one person has tried to log in. That one tells me that the rest of us who are here, 99.999%, have not interacted with this system. This is the system where you are supposed to first do your application. Those who have interacted with the KEBS website, www.kebs.org. Once you open that page, you go to online services. You go to online services. And the first icon on online services is the KEBS, Kenya Information Management System. Once you log in there, you'll have to sign up. Remember, you do not have an account with us, isn't it? So you need to sign up. But don't worry about that if you are not very sure of what you are doing. At the right-hand side, I will still show you on the same, there is the manufacturer's manual, which has been added there. Just download the manual. It will take you step by step. It's so visualized that you don't need to keep on reading. You can just see as it is clicking, you go, you see, you go to the next step, you go to the next step until you complete the application process. I know most of the queries we have received concerning this online application is the system downtown. My advice would be, when you start the application process, kindly focus on the application process. Sawa. This system doesn't like lazing around in the application. It will still log you out, you'll get a lot of drafts. However, it will save your information. So once it saves this information, please don't go back and start another one afresh. You'll create a lot of drafts in that system, then it jams, and then you will have a lot of challenges troubleshooting that. Once this application is completed, basically when you are doing this application, and I want you to get this clearly, the only information required there is your information. Your information. So this is an information that you have, because we need you to give us the company details. We need you to tell us more about your product. Remember, you know the product better than me at that particular time, isn't it? So we expect you to give us the correct information. Give us the information about your company, give us information about your product, and I will tell you where we are getting it wrong during the application is when we make a decision from the beginning that I'm not able to make this application. You have already decided, I cannot manage. And you have not even started, but you have decided, I cannot manage. Let me go to the cyber. Let me get a broker. Immediately someone else starts doing the application for you. They insert their details. They give their email address. They give their contacts. How will we ever reach you? Because immediately you start signing in, it will ask you for the password. You are not the one who did the application. So you don't even know the password. Number two, it will send a one-time notification when you are logging in. It's supposed to send to that number that you shared. Then now that number is not even yours. So at the end of the day, you are not able to log in. We are not able to get your application. And now you start the blame game. The system is not working. KEBS is not responding. We try calling this number. It's from a cyber. We don't understand this, what you are talking about. We don't know this firm. So when you are giving your details, ensure that the details you are giving belong to that company. Either the contact person, or if it's a sole proprietor, your own contact, such that any information we receive belongs to that company. Remember, before, when we were doing the manual applications, everything was manual. That means you walk to KEBS, fill forms, do the payment. Once the permit is out, we call you, you come and pick your permit. It's no longer the same. You have to access everything online. So I would advise we interact with the system ourselves, because if we have any communication to do with you concerning your product, it will be through the system. You should be able to log in, check the status, check the test results, and check the permit. Then download the permit from the online system. You may seek for guidance from someone who understands maybe the system in terms of technology. But don't allow them to put their credentials there, because it will mess you up. They can go and guide you. If you want to be guided in a cyber, let them guide you, but ensure the email address is yours. Ensure the telephone number you are giving there is yours. And if the telephone number is yours, ensure that is the telephone number you will keep for some time. Just in case you change that number, because that is the only communication available in the system, kindly communicate to us so that we can be able to change the same in the system. When you are typing in your email address, kindly key in the right address and verify whether that is the right email address. Because now that is the only communication we have with you. So that is now about the online application. But in case you have any challenges, because in most cases challenges will always be there. If you have any challenges when you are doing this online application, there's an email address that is provided in that portal. You can send an email address, you can do a screenshot, you can send and say, I'm stuck at this step. Could you kindly guide me? And someone will be there to respond to you. The same if you have done the application before and you are doing your renewals, for those who had applied manually before, the renewal still you have to use the online system. So now that we know how to do the application online, and we have talked about the categorization, and then the fees applicable, what next? Once the application comes on our side, we have the right email address, we have the correct telephone number, an officer will reach out to you. We want to know where you are. And why I said you need to give us correct information, because in those forms when you are filling online, there's a place where you are told to indicate your physical address, so that we can know kama uko Kariobangi, kama uko Ongatarongai, so that we can be able to map and see where you are. In most cases, you find someone as indicated, you know where you write the postal address, maybe postal address, blah, 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 0002. Hiyo iko wapi? Hiyo iko GPO, si ndio? Alafu natuandikia hapo uko GPO. That is not the physical address. The physical address we are looking for is the manufacturing site. Kama unatengenezea Kiridi, sema unatengenezea wapi? Kiridi. Usituambie mahali unakaa, tuambie mahali unatengenezea. So this physical address, it's not about where you are staying, you yourself as a manufacturer. It's about where the manufacturing is happening. Exactly that. And that is the place we want to come. So we need that information. So once that application comes to us and we have conducted you, hapo ndio shida inaanzanga. Si lazima leo tuseme ukweli. Hapo ndio shida inaanzanga. I've reached out to you. Nimekupigia. I tell you I'm planning for your inspection. Unaniambia nimeenda harusi. I've gone for a wedding, I don't know where. I'll call you once I'm back. I go to another one. I'm the only one available, nobody, the place is closed. You go to another one. Remember, days are moving, isn't it? There's a turnaround time. And the system it's counting, isn't it? Then now, you resurface. After having done all what you had planned for, after 3 weeks now you remember. And that is, if we are lucky enough to hear from you within the 3 weeks, because sometimes it can even take months to hear you back. So once you come back after those months, the first call would be, mbona hamjai nitembelea? Seriously? We have been reaching out, we have been sending email. That is now the time you tell us, I've not received that email. Then I'll ask, is this email address not yours? No, I don't even know that one. Or it was for an employee who was here and left the company, and so many stories. I would urge that once we place this application, within 2 weeks, expect someone to communicate. They will communicate through email or through telephone. Some of us who don't receive calls from people they know, that is now where you ignore us, because you do not have my number, please. Sindio? I'm trying to call you from Kenya Bureau of Standards, and you don't want to pick because you don't know who is calling. Tumeelewana? Simuchukue tu simu. Then we agree. I'm available during this particular time. Then, those who receive and give a lot of excuses are even better. We have another worst category. And the worst category is the one that someone will pick the call or even respond to the email, agree on the date of inspection, you book a vehicle, and you are heading all the way to Pastigong. And then you are calling this client. Assume the client is called Naomi. Naomi, can you give me direction? I'm at now Gong Town. Nimefunga. Sijafungua leo. What do you want us to do with this? Do you know what you are taking? Can you see now what you are taking us through? So once that application has come and that communication has been done, allow us to do the inspection. I don't know where you got this idea from, that once you do the application, you are supposed to walk in with the products to Kenya Bureau of Standards. I don't know where you got that idea from. I don't know what you're afraid of when you hear of inspection. Allow us to come and check. And as I told you, remember, at that particular stage, you understand your process much better than me because I don't even know where you are. So why are you afraid of someone? It's like you're afraid of someone coming to your home. You know your home better. Unaweza hata jificha akiwa tu hapo. Sindio? So allow us to do the inspection within the stipulated time so that we can be able to avoid the back and forth. During the inspection, we are not coming there to harass you. We are just coming there to check your process. We want to see you are making this product. For example, if you're in the cosmetic industry and you are doing a body cream, we want to know where are you getting these raw materials from? What is it that you check? Don't just buy things and start mixing things. What do you check to ensure that the end product will be able to meet your own requirements? Because there is also what you want as an end product. And is it also able to meet the set standards for this country? We want to also to check during the manufacturing, the in-process, where you are mixing, are you complying to the requirements? The labeling, are you complying to the labeling standards? The packaging, where are you getting your packaging from? Is it safe for the product? Evo too. After that inspection, you'll be asked a lot of documentation. Not because we expect you to be keeping a lot of documentation, but because we also want you to understand what it entails for you to be able to make a quality product. Because if you are checking the quality of a product, because as I told you as manufacturers, you understand this process better. Just document it down. So ununue kitabu hata kama ni ile akasuku tu ya 12 pages. Ukiangalia hata kama umeangalia tu color, indicate the date, the batch. This is what I've checked. And keep the records. Reason being, don't keep those records for Kenya Bureau of Standards. Keep those records for your own company. You never know. There could be a complaint in the market about your product. Utajitoa aje hapo? You should have records. No, this is my batch. I did it this particular month. And this is the quality I checked. And it complied. So those are some of the records we need you to keep. So, picked at that particular time. Hapo ni shida ingine. When the inspector is, they are not for any other business other than for the checking the quality. So allow the inspector to pick samples. The inspector will not pick samples or products that are more than what is required. They already have a list of what is required from our laboratories. So they know, for example, if you are producing a body oil and you are packaging in 600 ml or 500 ml, they know the quantity that is required for the test to be done. Definitely they will not carry a carton. Maybe that is the only produce you have for that day. But there's a sampling methodology that is used, and that requires a certain number of products to be drawn during inspection. So feel free to give out those products. Just in case it is a product that does not require destructive testing, you can request for that product to be returned back. As long as the tests to be carried out are not they are not destructive. But if they're destructive, haiwezi rudi. But it will just be picked what is enough for testing. We have a legal document, which I want to mention to you. We call it the Scheme of Supervision and Control. This document is discussed with you by the inspectors during the inspection. For those who have interacted with this document before, it has been reviewed, and there are a lot of changes in that document. The reason for review of this document is because we want you to own the quality of the product. Usiachie KEBS kuangalilie quality ya product. Si product ni yako, si ndio? So we want you to own that document. That is why, before we issue the permit, you have to sign that document, and the company lawyer has to sign that document. The KEBS officer who developed that document will also have to sign the document, and our legal team will sign the document. Signing that document, you have committed yourself to ensuring that the products you bring into the market are fit and they're able to meet the requirements of the standards that have been set for that product. And KEBS also committing, by signing that document, they have committed themselves to monitor the quality of that product at the manufacturing site and also at the market site. So remember, when an officer comes to you with a certain document called the Scheme of Supervision, and they request that you sign and your lawyer to sign, don't get so scared. Now there are legal issues here. No. It is just a reviewed document, and it will be signed by our legal partners, both sides, from the manufacturer and also from the Kenya Bureau of Standards. Once that product has been picked, we have well-equipped laboratories with competent staff who will be able to test for you the product. Once that product has been tested and it complies, then now that farm can be approved for issuance of permit. Before we go to the permit, in case, for example, you are the manufacturer and you completely have no idea about your product, but you have the finances to do it, get someone who understands the product to assist you in development of a product. If you do not have the capacity or you are not able to get that, we have the incubation centers. We have Kiridi, and we also have private incubation centers. People who have just come up to incubate SMEs, they gather in one area and they are given that opportunity. They are provided with someone who is competent to be able to guide them in development of standards. Incubation centers are very important, especially for startups, if you are not very sure about the product you are doing. So that is about the competence. So as I said, that permit, once it is issued, you will be able to track the progress of your certification through the online system. The good thing about this system is that the officer cannot be able to lie to you. There is no way the KEBS officer will lie to you that the permit has been issued when it has not been issued, because you can be able to track it in the system. There's no way the officer can be able to say they have inspected your farm when they have not inspected your farm. It will be indicated in the system on the progress. So after every stage of the application process, you'll be able to monitor that. During the process, you'll interact with the product standard. These product standards are very important. Reason being, they'll give us the information and they'll give us the ability to interpret results. Have you received a test report which you cannot even interpret the results? You completely understand nothing about the results, isn't it? Si tumeenda hata hospitali, ukaenda kwa lab ukapimwa, ukapewa test reports, and you completely do not understand what communication is being communicated there. That is now where the standards comes in. Because the moment we give you these test results, you should be able to interpret the results. And you can be guided by the product standards so that you can be able to understand if an officer tells me that my product did not comply, what exactly are they trying to tell you? And at what point, which parameter did it fail? Na kama ilipita, for example, what are these parameters and what are the requirements? The moment we understand the requirements, then it also becomes very easy for us to monitor these standards. These standards are available through our library at Block A, second floor. You can also be able to purchase these standards online. You go to the online services, purchase a standard, and you can be able to acquire those standards. When we are developing these standards, I know most of you say KEBS wanatengeneza standards. No. We engage stakeholders like you. We have the technical committees, other technical institutions, and they come up together. They develop or renew these standards. If you're not included in that technical committee, it doesn't mean you do not have a say. That standard is circulated through the website for you to give comments, for you to look at it. Remember, as I said, you understand this product because you are the manufacturer, isn't it? So in case there's something that has been approved there or discussed there, and you think you have another opinion, you are allowed to give your opinion during the circulation stage. So it is always very important for all of us, manufacturers, especially the SMEs, for us to get involved. In most cases, when we request for people to join in these technical committees or to give their comments, we always find only the large manufacturers are willing to participate. So when we are talking about standards, we have different standards for different products. So understand your product, know what product it is, and get that specific standard for that particular product. It will give you a guide on the requirements, give you a guide on the labeling. Usiende tu kuangalia label kwa jirani, angalia kwa product, hii product niliona Naivas. How is it labeled? Then you start labeling yours like that. There's a guideline on how to label the product. Just get the standard, follow the guidelines, and you'll be able to ensure that the product is able to meet the requirements. So these standards you can be able to purchase them online, or if you don't want to purchase them online, you can also go through the website. Go to online services, then you can purchase a standards. Some of the benefits of standardization mark. I know most of us have been accessing products in the market. For those who know these quality marks, they will always try to check whether these products have been certified. Most of us don't even know how to check it. When you just see the logo, you just think now this product is certified. Always be keen on the permit number. Always be keen on the permit number. Check if it has been displayed, because for that permit number to be displayed is for the consumer to be able to verify. That tells you as a manufacturer that your consumers are trying to verify your product. And the only way they can verify your product is by ensuring that you have displayed that permit number, as we have also been told by our colleague. Make sure you have displayed your permit number for verification. Your customers need to verify your products, and the regulator also needs to verify your products. These marks give confidence to consumers and fair trade practices and competition. I'm sure you are, as a manufacturer, you get so worried when you have gone through the whole process, then you find someone else who has not gone through the process and the products are in the market. It really pains a lot in such scenarios, and that is where we say that the standardization mark is there to ensure there is fair trade practices. Our market surveillance team is always in the market to ensure that those who are practicing these unfair trade practices will finally be caught. It raises level of product quality awareness because we are very sure that someone else has verified, and it also gives you a responsibility, as I said, as a manufacturer. So these are some of the documents you'll find when you're doing the online application. We have talked about them, but there's something I want, this one, awareness of sector regulations. When I told you about being aware of your product, it's because we also have other regulators who will be needed to come on board, depending on the product that you're doing. So you need to understand your product. Like, for example, if you're doing a food-related product, for example, you know now you have to deal with public health. So when you see the public health, don't also start asking, I have a permit number. I have KEBS permit. Do I really need the public health certificates? It's a requirement. So for you to get the standardization mark for such products, you have to ensure that you have also met the requirements for the other regulators for that particular product, which is in that scope. So wale mnatengeneza chakula, medical certificates for staff, na license ya site, isn't it? We have talked about this. We have talked about competence. We have said about the incubation centers, or you get a qualified persons. For the brand names and trade, you need to patent them. Some of us, when doing the application, they just think of a brand. Then after you have done the application, then someone tells you, no, that brand is already in our database. It belongs to another company. So it's always very good to verify your brand and search so that you can be able to be sure that this brand is not being used by someone else. So inspection and sample, it's about quality, and we have our competent quality control personnel as well as our market surveillance inspectors who are there to monitor the product. As I wind up, I want to bring to your attention of what is happening in the year 2025. KEBS has been organizing what we call the Kenya Quality Awards. The Kenya Quality Awards for recognition of our local manufacturers and the good work that you have been doing in terms of ensuring that we have embraced quality as a culture. So this year's Kenya Quality Awards, for those who have spoken to you before, I've been talking about it, but today I can proudly say that the 2025 Kenya Quality Awards was launched today. The launch was today 20th between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. The deadline for application for you to participate in the Kenya Quality Award is on 18th of July. 18th of July is the deadline for application. I'm sure you have shared your email addresses. We will be able to share this registration link for you to be able to apply. The application of this, before I go to the application, there are two categories of awards so that you don't don't start asking whether you can really compete with the large manufacturers. We have the two categories. We have the large, for the large firms, and we have for the MSMEs. Same applies to both product and service. So if you're in product or in service, large manufacturers and the MSMEs. The Kenya Quality Award is based on quality management principles. So you need at least to be able to manage a system that is based on these quality management systems. That these ones are customer focused, leadership. And when it comes to customer focus, there is no way you can tell us you are focused on your customer while your products are not certified. Which customer now? Which customer are you focused on? So you must be able to demonstrate that you are complying with this quality management system principles. Hapa ndio shida iko. For you to be eligible, you must be a local entity registered and operating in Kenya, either implementing a management system or as valid product certification mark. Hapo unatolewa step ya kwanza gani ile a valid product certification mark or implementing a valid management system permit. Our product certified for you to be able to apply. Sindio, si nimeona mnapiga picha, that tells me mnataka ku apply. So now ask yourself, when I'm doing the application, hiyo product nitaweka hapo, is the permit valid? Because if the permit is not valid, utatolewa tu hapo kwa hiyo shortlisting. So now you see why you need to have your products certified. Then of course compliance to other applicable statutory and regulatory requirements. We had the same awards in the year 2024. And these are some of our winners. I know most of you who followed up are able to see that. So kindly, we encourage you to apply. We'll be sharing this. We have your email addresses through the registration desk. Then from there, you can be able to, if you have product certified or system certification, quality management system, then you can be able to include you in the competition. We'll proudly also announce that other than the Kenya Quality Awards, Kenya will also be hosting the East African Quality Awards. So from the Kenya Quality Awards, then we will still proceed to the East African Quality Awards. Na juu zitakuwa hapa kwetu Kenya. Why are we not participating? Sindio? So let us participate. Thank you.
You know the good thing about it, in the morning when they were launching, we projected and we launched together. Yeah, so everybody is excited about it. Mine will be very brief. I want to do something. There's going to be an exercise. Kindly, since we are, if you can notice the time, we are now between our stomachs. So I want us, if you can be able to keep the questions handy, we will have a question and answer session. Okay, now, I would like us to engage via mobile. Oh, I'm not projected. Remember, you can be able to access internet for your phone. I want us to use Mentimeter. I'll do a very brief exercise and then, because you see, I don't know if you noticed, we brought some goodies. Kuna vitu hapa and they belong to you. Haturudi na yoyote iko hapo. And we are doing that through this program. So it is innovation pipeline, and that is basically what we are looking at. I would like us to join. I'd like us to join, and by joining, please go to www.menti.com. www.menti.com. And if you wanted internet, I think the KEBS guest Wi-Fi is KEBS guest small letters, no spaces. That's the password. Nani amefaulu? I've not even. Who has succeeded? Good. Inaonekana kuna watu wako .com kabisa. Me and I'm the presenter na bado. So I should have signed up, but it's okay. 2130 5672. Have we joined? Yes, I'm seeing thumbs up there. And you can put your name there to join the session. And you can give a thumbs up. So we are 13 of us. 14, 22. Oh, it has exploded. It has exploded. I'm happy about that. Okay. So, forgetting. So, we can reach 30 and then we start. I think, and I'm seeing people giving hearts. Even me, let me give my heart to this process. Yes. Thank you so much. Okay, so how are you this afternoon? It was supposed to be morning, so how are you this afternoon? I feel empowered, very great. I'm blessed, good, happy. I'm fine this afternoon. This is excellent. This is wonderful. Okay, I think I duplicated. The next question is the same. So we can just give a thumbs up and move on. What? Is it still going? Oh, I get it. So as long as it's still there, it gives you the question again. Feeling good, motivated. Thank you very much. Let's go to the next thing. Have you ever participated in a quality award competition? Have you ever participated? Not really, nope. Not yet. Not yet. I like the not yet because that is giving potential. See, unasikia, not yet. There's potential there, sindio? Yeah? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go to the next thing. What assistance would you require to prepare to participate in a quality award competition? Now this one, we are hoping you look at maybe your processes or your limitations, and if it is something that is required that is going to be serviced by any of our partner organizations. We are in contact with them. We are in innovation pipeline, and that's why we are here. So that is what I want to leave this open-ended question with you here, so that you can think about it and just state it there. If it is something to do with KRA, if it is something to do with looking for external markets, we are in communication with KEPROBA. We are even in communication with APZA and various other organizations that deal with the external market. So some of them are not able to make it here, but their management are aware that we are working in partnership. This is something that we do every year. For those of us who've ever attended Innovation Pipeline, we work together with all those organizations. So please feel free and bring out what you need from here. This is something that we are going to share. The rest of the presentation will come in the afternoon. This was just an introductory aspect, and also to see if we are able to work this technology sometimes. Oh, okay, so I've been given some direction. So Faith, since I was going to put this as the last slide, Faith, you can tell us where to go from here as we wait for lunch to be ready. Just confirm that maybe that's what I got. You know, Gio said, yeah, but it's not ready, right? Just, that's fine. It's okay. Right now, do we stop now or? Okay. All right. Yes. Okay.
Mr. kindly allow us to give KRA a few minutes, and then you can take over.
All right. Good afternoon once again. My name is Mendi Mwangi. I work within KRA, Kenya Revenue Authority. Actually, we are based here. The training department, stakeholder engagement, is based in Samia Business Park. So so not too far, along Mombasa Road. But we have over 100 offices countrywide, but that's where I'm based. I'm in a unit called Taxpayer Experience Division, purely dealing with your needs and services. Nothing revenue related, nothing target related in that revenue sense. So we are where you want to go to close any knowledge gaps, and we appreciate KEBS for the invitation to engage further and make tax compliance a smooth process for you. When you're trying to get KEBS compliant, also remember KRA and all the other regulatory bodies involved. I think you can see the presentation. It's very few slides, giving you the basics of when it comes to KRA, what do you need to know and what do you need to know to be compliant. We are trying to simplify the process a lot such that the information is not too much and your role is also not too much. Kenya operates a self-assessment regime, and we encourage and require voluntary compliance. So it's your job to file your returns, and when you file your return, we take what you give us to be the true position. That's the true position unless we have information otherwise. That's what we mean by self-assess. So it's my expectation that no one here can file a nil return, because you're all business people, you're all MSMEs, you're all earning some kind of income. If of course it's below 288,000, depending on the nature of that business income, you're filing a return, you're indicating the true position, you're claiming your expenses, and the system will give you a zero tax due. That's very different from a nil return. Very much discouraging nil returns. And my department actually is called the Micro and Small Taxpayers Department. So we are targeting to do tax-based expansion for taxpayers who are small, micro, maybe even informal, trying to formalize, and anyone basically in that department has an annual turnover of 200 million per annum and below. So unless that's not you, then we are here to cater for your needs, to help you close any knowledge gaps, help you understand what you're required to do. And if you forget nothing else, in KRA, all you need to know is a tax cycle and what you need to do for compliance. You need to register, you need to file, you need to pay, and you need to deal with any matters arising. For you to be able to do those things, you need to understand what you are making. Are you making business income? Are you making income from agriculture? Are you making income from rental? Are you making income from other services offered, maybe consulting, but consulting is business income? Are you making income from other services offered, maybe then when you do that, are you maintaining records? The law requires that you maintain records for at least 5 years, such that if any time KRA wakes up and says, kindly note, we are aware you're in business, as per the returns you have filed, kindly come for a compliance check, random compliance check. Kindly note that you have been selected for audit. Please prepare these documents within this number of days and the team will come. What else can arise? By maintaining proper records and filing accurate returns, you could find that somehow you have overpaid tax and you need a refund. So if you've maintained the correct records, you apply for your refund and you attach those supporting documents. In KRA, all we use is the law and supporting documents, because the burden of tax, or rather the burden of proof, is on the taxpayer. If you've self-assessed yourself, you can support that self-assessment. You've earned 300,000 in 2024. Support that by showing the sales receipts that are e-Teams compliant. You have expenses you wish to claim. You have receipts to support that. And it's actually business receipts, meaning that you went out, you bought items for the business, inputs for your manufacturer, if anyone is in cosmetics, beverages, things like that. And you can support everything you are filing in the return. Remember, again, it's a self-assessment. So what you tell us, we believe to be the true position, unless we have information otherwise. So you register for a PIN. You register for VAT if you meet the mandatory threshold of 5 million per annum. You register for turnover tax. If you don't want the story of filing once a year, you want to file once every month, 1.5% of the gross turnover. That's turnover tax now. A very simplified return and regime. We have things in KRA called, you can either file and declare your income annually, like the way many of us are doing before June 30th, because I earn employment income, I'm still required to declare that 6 months after the end of the calendar year. But some people find that difficult to maintain those records for that much time. You then opt to be under the monthly regime of declaring your business income. So remember that other one is a rate of approximately 30%. It's a graduated scale, 10 to 35. But on this side, there's a lower tax rate because it's simplified at 1.5% purely on business income gross. You can't deduct any expenses. There's a brief example in this presentation. So now you register for the correct obligation. You either file monthly or annually. Think of filing as communication to KRA. The moment you get a PIN or register for another tax obligation, you have committed to talk to KRA on a monthly or annual basis. And you don't do that by the due dates, there's a penalty arising from that. Think of it as communication purely. The medium is iTax, the medium is M-Service, the medium is the Excel, the medium is *572#. However you want to communicate to KRA, use those channels, and that is what you'll have done. You'll have met your obligation for filing. Then paying. They are twin processes, but they are separate. You can file and not pay. You can't pay and not file, typically. But you must file. You say, this year, 2024, I earned 600,000. These are my expenses that I'm claiming. The profit is 260,000. System will charge tax on that. Then you now have a tax due of maybe 13,000, roughly. That's not correct, but estimated. You then go ahead to pay those taxes. Usually the due date for filing and the due date for payment are the same. So for example, for VAT, it's 20th after every month, every 20th after that month that you are declaring the income for. For pay as you earn, if anyone here is in employment, your employer deducts from you pay every month and remits it to KRA on or before the 9th of every month. So they file with your PIN and your details, and they remit to KRA on or before 9th of the following month. So now you have registered. And you register voluntarily. You don't wait for a KRA officer to visit your premise to assess that this is indeed taxable income, yet we can see on your records you filed a nil return. I don't know, last year or 2023, we had a few officers doing field visits to find out information from taxpayers, to record information. Did anyone get a visit? They were very friendly officers. They're very young as well, getting us a sense of what is happening in the market. Was anyone visited by someone just to ask for their details? No, okay. So sometimes that can happen. And the goal is for you not to then register there. The goal is for you to have registered before so that you are compliant. So you register, you file communication, then you pay. Then now you did interest for 2023, kurudi nyuma. Anyone who has a challenge, you'll ask me before I leave. Happy to help and happy to check the system, your compliance status as at now. So when you're not compliant, that's when you find yourself with penalties, interest, and fines. So we don't encourage that, but thanks to amnesty, which is expiring on 30th June, the week after next, you can enjoy waiver on that. So if you have students in your lives who got a PIN when they were in campus, to get a loan, to open a bank account to get a loan, and they never filed because the rationale was that I have no income, tell them wakuje, wafile nil if they had no income. 4 years, ndio wakoe waived your 8K, your penalties for late filing. And you as well, you don't have to be a student. This amnesty, no questions asked. You tell us if this is the position, you are waived. System waives you 100,000. Waiver 100%. So like I said, registration, what you are doing. VAT is for someone who is doing, it's mandatory when you're doing 5 million and above, taxable sales in that year, or expect to do. It's also advisable, of course, if you want to tender. If you want to tender with government, you have to be VAT registered. And it's also, there's a provision for voluntary registration. Of course, it means you're charging 16% on top of the cost of your good, and you remit that 16% to KRA after deducting the goods you have bought where VAT was charged. It is an output-input principle. Excise duty, if anyone is dealing with beverages, you'll know that this is where you've engaged with KRA before for sure. Because excise, you have to be licensed. To get licensed, you have to have KEBS certification. And then you are visited in your premise. They want to verify that the stamps you're using on your beverages are compliant. They are not fake. They've been activated, and that they are correct. You've affixed a stamp for 500 ml on a 500 ml bottle rather than a 1 liter bottle, for example. If one of these officers whose pure role is to walk around, visits your premise, scans that code and sees, this thing is not correct, that is an immediate fine, for example. So those are some of the things I mentioned. Due dates, currently everyone is talking about 30th June because it's the deadline. You have 6 months to file a return. People talk about June, but you have from January to June. So it's my hope that because you now know that next year, you'll file by even January when you're ready, when you prepare your books of account. I mentioned registration, file, pay, and then deal with any matters arising. But the moment you're keeping good records, the moment you're being truthful and accurate, there's nothing to fear. KRA only operates within the law, and your burden of proof, your supporting documents will always be strong when you are maintaining good records and you are doing the right thing. You remember all your expenses that you are claiming, they have to be actual business expenses. If you bring a receipt that is milk, bread, Blue Band, and you have no office, you have no employees, that's a house expense that you're claiming against business income. That will be disallowed and added back as income. If you're claiming random expenses that have nothing to do with the business, expenses have to be wholly and exclusively incurred for the generation of that income. But under that simplified regime I was telling you, turnover tax, you can't deduct expenses. It's 1.5% on gross kabisa. But if you're in this other one, where you want to file and declare and pay annually, that one you can deduct expenses. So I said turnover tax is simplified. You can file on not star 572 hash. You can file on M-Service. It's an application on your phone you download on any of the platforms. You just file as easy as that. You never have to log into iTax. Though nowadays iTax you can log in with your ID. In case you have never known your password, your PIN of head, this is your time to log into iTax with your ID. iTax is that simple system for when you have a PIN, that's where you log in to access various services, to file returns, things like that. So that's what has changed. We also have monthly rental income. You're all business people, but if you have rental somewhere, you're required, if your rental per month is bringing you 24K to 1.25 million per month, you are required to register and pay monthly rental income on your rentals. This is that I was saying, TOT is quite simplified. If you're earning, if your total sales in a month, for example, are 30,000, though I note in these presentations, I should be using random figures like 47,322 because it's usually a random, it's not as clear cut as this. But if your gross sales are 30,000 from 1st of April to 30th of April, the system will require you to file and declare 30,000. You don't have to support it with with receipts at that time. You just indicate, and we trust your position, that to be the true position. 30,000, the system will apply 1.5% on that, and you're only paying in that month 450 bob purely. And it's a final tax, meaning at the end of the year, you don't have to redeclare this 30K anywhere else. You have accounted for it, and you have paid the taxes related to it. And you file and pay by 20th of the following month. So between 1st and 20th of May, in this example, this person has to either log into iTax or M-Service, declare 30K, and pay for 50 shillings within those 20 days. And you're compliant. Never have to redeclare that income. If in May they make no sales for some reason, they'll file a nil return. But communication is a must, and filing and notify the commissioner, what we call the commissioner in KRA, that by the way, I have no business this month, and hopefully next month will be better. You do that by filing a nil return, failure to which there is a penalty of 1,000 for late filing. I would highly recommend turnover tax. Officially, by the law states that the threshold for turnover tax is 1 million to 25 million per annum. So e-teams, are we all registered for e-teams? Good. Teams or e-teams? For those who started Kitambo, you were probably on e-teams. Teams, the device-based solution from 2022. Then early 2023, then came e-teams, and everyone was required. Any person in business is required to register for e-teams and issue e-teams invoices. Invoices, I use it interchangeably with receipts. Similarly, any person in business wishing to claim expenses must use a e-Teams receipt to claim that expense. That's the biggest change that came up from Finance Act 2023. So if you want to be compliant, download where necessary. Actually, it's purely software solution. So me, one time in training like this, when I was training people, I accidentally registered for e-Teams. It's as simple as that on *222#. That is one of the solutions that's based on eCitizen. Then we also have eCitizen, eteams.ecitizen.kra.go.ke. So many government services are now available on eCitizen. You can even file a KRA nil return on eCitizen. So you now register for the correct eTeams depending on what you are doing. We also have another one called eteams.kra.go.ke. It's what they are calling the online solution. And I would also recommend that one if you're in business. You issue your eTeams invoices and you can access it from anywhere. Whereas the other one, eTeams Client, is a device. You have to have it downloaded on a device. So this is, if this is your business based in South Sea, this laptop will always have to be ideally in South Sea, so that the person there will be issuing the invoices. But if you're remote or you move around a lot, you can use the eTeams online solution to be generating invoices from anywhere. It's free, 100%, and you can self-on board. You can start today if you wanted to register for eTeams and start issuing eTeams invoices immediately, with or without VAT. Remember, it's for everyone in business, all the way on paper, anyone in business, from Amamboga all the way to Safaricom, one of the largest taxpayers in Kenya. And as I conclude in those 10 minutes, we have amnesty, I already mentioned. Anyone, mwenye kona deni tu ya 2023, 2022, 1999, na hujawai clear, come forward and have amnesty clear. You bora tu, you have no principal tax. Principal tax ni ile ya 30,000. 30,000, if you didn't file in 2020, in that April 2025, for example, now we are in June, 30,000, you didn't file. April, May, you are now filing in June for April. You're 2 months late. You file, you pay, you say 30,000. System inakuchapa penalty at 2K, late filing payment, late filing penalty. Then kuna late payment penalty. I think it's 5% of 30K. Then kuna interest every month, 1% of that 450 bob. So those things are what we are clearing, not the 30K technically. You know, we can't waive actual tax. We waive the penalties, interest, and fines that are associated. So in that example, instead of paying about 35K, you'll pay 30K in tax, 5K itakuwa waived. And if you filed a nil return, for example, you filed nil, that means zero tax due, but you can penalties 2K, 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 all the way up to whenever you got a PIN. You'll have 100% waiver, 100% amnesty. Na inaisha 30th June 2025. So ile wiki ingine. Now, tuchukue maswali. But is lunch ready? I saw him standing up. I thought he was maybe trying to get your attention. Is there a burning question, concern, eTeams KRA related? Kila mtu anajua TSO yake, Tax Service Office. Yes, madam.
Thank you for that presentation. My question is on the TOT, the turnover tax. Now, if I'm a distributor, I'm not a manufacturer, and you say the turnover of $1 million to 25 million annually?
The law says that, yeah.
So do I have to be a manufacturer, or it's any category? Even though I'm doing hardware, so long as I'm doing $1 million to 25 million annually, I'm eligible for that tax.
Eligible for that tax. Actually, many people are not even in that threshold, but because it is such a convenient tax, many people have registered. The only exemptions that are not allowed to register and pay under that simplified regime are for if you're earning rental income, because you're supposed to declare that rental under your ingine ya 7.5%. If you're earning if you're doing a professional service like consulting, training, or management, you're already withheld from at 5%. So you cannot then be paid at 1.5% tax. Those are people are exempt. Non-residents are also exempt. And yeah, I think those are the main ones. So we especially encourage goods, any type of goods you are doing, any type of business, TOT is eligible for you if you don't fall in those criteria that I mentioned. Rental, non-resident, professional service, yeah, I think those are the ones. There's one more.
Okay, I have another question.
Yes.
For manufacturers, especially in cosmetics,
Yeah.
let's say now someone wants to start. Now, what is my expectation? Because there's so much word out there that I need to pay a bond. I don't know. So I would want that cleared. Like, what now? I want to start this business. How much of KRA? What's my budget?
Okay.
Yeah. So what budget am I looking at?
Okay.
KRA's budget is this. For my investment in the business is this. So yours is the KRA. How much should I be having, and what taxes am I supposed to pay?
Okay, so you are now asking about that excise obligation. Excise tax, as I mentioned, is, maybe I didn't mention actually, I was in a training in the morning, so if I say something I've talked about it, just tell me, no, you've never said that. And if I use jargon, like TCC, TOT, just pull back and say, you don't know what that is. So excise tax is synonymous. Kitambo, it used to be called a sin tax, and it was only for things that are considered harmful to society, alcohol and tobacco. Then it expanded to, of course, include goods that are luxurious or services that are luxurious in nature, addictive, non-essentials. So now we have bottled water, like I was telling you. We have airtime. We have financial services that are excisable. We have betting and gaming. We have cosmetics, like she said, beverages, sodas, drinking water, juice, all of that. We charge excise on that, and then VAT on top for some services and some goods. So in her case, cosmetics, she wants to start, and it's good. This is where you want to be, but KRA will also be right next as the next agency you need to comply with. When it comes to excise, and luckily for now, cosmetics have not been mandated to be affixed with an excise EGMS stamp for now. I think there's a pending case or something along those lines. But in theory, on paper, it should be that a cosmetic good should also be affixed with a valid excise stamp. But that's, I think, not been implemented yet. But that's at the last tail end. The beginning is to now come forward to KRA and request for an excise license, notifying them that you are a manufacturer. So you'll be asking them for an excise license for manufacturing. I'm assuming you are manufacturing those cosmetics. But even if you were importing them ready-made, you would be applying for an excise license to import excisable goods. Either way, the first step is to apply for an excise license. Selling goods, selling or doing excisable services without a license, without KRA's knowledge, is an offense. And if, again, those officers visit your premise, they say this is an excisable good, you are selling drinking water, even refilling drinking water, and you are not excise compliant, you don't have a license, that's an automatic offense. So to get an excise license, you'll need to do various things. One of them is, like you said, to execute a bond. And depending on the expected threshold, it can range, I think, from 30K to upwards of, depending on what you're doing, it can range, but you should factor in an excise bond to acquire your excise license. You'll also need KEBS certification. So the figure ranges. I wish I could tell you it's 30,000 or it's 20,000. It ranges depending on what you are doing and your expected sales, your expected turnover, things like that. And an excise license will not also be approved without a site visit of sorts from people associated with a domestic tax enforcement division. So you'll also be visited for an inspection of your premise, wherever these goods are being manufactured. So yeah, those are the main ones. You'll need KEBS certification, you'll need to execute a bond, you'll also need to show those other licenses, I think Kanjo and something else, to just show that you have been approved to manufacture in this particular premise. And if you are manufacturing in both South Sea, Nakuru, Mombasa, you'll need separate licenses for all those premises. You can't use this license in another factory, effectively, to use that word loosely. And then you'll be processed for an excise license, and then you can proceed to go to EGMS if you were serving, if you had goods that required a stamp. But for cosmetics, currently, there's a pause on that for one reason or another. I think officially it's because cosmetics are quite small, and our stamps are even bigger than some of those goods that you'd be affixing on. So there's still provision on how to have cosmetics affixed with excise stamps, but they are excisable for sure under the law. but your journey will begin at the KRA office. Your tax service office is the only one that can process an excise license as well. So if you're based in Samia, your PIN reads east and south of Nairobi, you are there. If your PIN reads Bungoma, TSO, you can request that to be done from here because your business is based here. You can request east and south of Nairobi, the closest tax office, to assess your business and issue the license. That is a possibility. Or do the inspection from here, things like that. But it will be processed in Bungoma until you move your PIN to another station. I'm still around kidogo while you're having lunch to answer questions, but I know time is not on my side. But asanteni sana. If you have a question, amnesty, want to verify your compliance status, you don't even know your PIN, come and I'll help.
Thank you so much. For sure, it was more than 10 minutes, but thank you because we have benefited from it. I want to request you to stay a little bit so that whoever has a question, they can ask you. I want to also tell you that KRA, they have a desk up here for today so that you can file your taxes and you can ask the other queries that you would want to ask. Then we have Margaret here. Margaret here is here to do the application for the standardization mark. She's ready with her gadgets. She will take you through the process, and we started the process. She's also staying around. I want to welcome Mr. Nsezia so that she can tell us what they do in market surveillance. Before we break, lunch is almost set. Please stop sleeping. Nimeona watu wengine wakigawa. Inaitwa kwetu tunasema kugawa shamba. Hivi.
That is where we are. I was saying when we look at the products, imported, manufactured, all of them, they converge in the market. And that is where market surveillance is. And that is where I am. I'm manager chemicals. So I'll take you through this session. We are actually monitoring the products, all the products, including the imports, the manufactured, and then other product which is coming through finer routes. So we are actually there to monitor. We actually, I can say when we go to the market, some shops, even some supermarkets, they call us the police of KEBS. The police, isn't it? And when we go there sometimes, some of them, once we enter one supermarket, the other one is closed. Or actually the smaller shops, they close because of the fear of what might come. But if you comply, then why should you close? Yes. So we are embedded in the Constitution, Constitution of Kenya, 2010, Chapter 4, Bill of Rights, Part 2, Rights and the Fundamental Freedoms, and Article 46, which protects the consumer, that is consumer rights. It's not projecting. Why? Why is it? It didn't pick. I thought let him put it in a presentation. Yeah. So what I was saying is that if you look at there in that slide, we have the chapter 4, Constitution of Kenya, that is 2010. Part 2, we have the rights and the fundamental freedoms. If you can read on your own. We also have the Article 46, consumer rights. Actually, market surveillance is embedded there. And if you look at that umbrella, we are protecting the consumer from substandard products, health and safety, and also environment. So, Article 46 stipulates that consumers have the right to goods and services of reasonable quality. That is to the information necessary for them to gain full benefit from goods and services. We also have to the protection. They have also the rights to the protection of their health, safety, and economic interests. D, they also have the right to compensation, protection of the consumer. If you see, the Constitution stipulates this in that Bill of Rights or Article 46, 2010. So the mandate, we are still on the mandate. KEBS operates a MS process in fulfillment of Constitution of Kenya 2010, Article 46, AMBC. You can read on your own. We are also operating MS on Standards Act, CAP 496, and the relevant regulations. We also have the ESE SQMT Act 2006. We also have the ESE regulations 2013. So we are using all this to check the products in the market. The functions of market surveillance: promote standardization in industry and the commerce, enforce and monitor use of marks. Just the way you have seen the marks, we are actually checking the marks there. We are verifying the marks. If the marks are expired, or the product does not have the mark, then we seize those products. So technical advice to the government and the stakeholders: we tell you what is happening in the market. Once we sample and test the products, we give an overview of, for example, if it's paints, what is happening in the market? How is the performance? What percentage of each product is in the market? So we target the products we'll see later. We also address the consumer complaints. The consumer complaints we receive from through KEBS, it was mentioned, and you can log in the KEBS and convey your complaint there. Then we will handle it through our own procedures. We also have stakeholder engagements. We usually, when we find a product has been failing, the compliance is low, we usually engage the stakeholders like you. We call the SMEs, the manufacturers of particular product. We engage, especially we had an issue of steel industry. We had issues of cosmetics. We have been engaging. We have also received another complaint through the ministry on footwear, shoes. We have a lot of them in the market, and we need to engage the stakeholders and see what is happening so that we can negotiate and see how can we improve the quality of these products. We also safeguard health and the safety of consumers and the environment. That is actually the protection of the consumer. I don't need to talk about the structure. I want to talk about this, which is very important. The enforcement officers, under the Standards Act, the inspectors are appointed under Section 13 of Standards Act. That is, and through also Gazette notices, and they are given certificate of appointment. The inspectors are appointed by the minister. By the Minister of Industrialization. So the powers, we have a lot of power, you need to see that. a lot of power is there. You can enter, inspect, sample, ask for production of documents, examine or copy such documents, seize and detain goods or documents. You can order for destruction of goods as an inspector. So, and this is just shortened. We don't just come and enter and inspect, you get. We engage you. We go to the shop. We introduce ourselves. We even show them our badges. And if they want to also verify, because we have imposters going on. Actually, there was an imposter in Salama yesterday, which they are actually working on following us, and they are asking for a lot of money. The bribes you are saying. So we are seen as if it's KEBS which is asking for it. Because they go and they say they are doing consumer protection, but what they are doing, they work with the police. So those are things we are working on. We have engaged the ING, and I think it will also be sorted. So what I wanted to say is that you should not obstruct inspectors because the repercussions are too big. Your premises, your company can be closed, and you can be barred from trading. So let us give them their right to do their work, since they are also given the rights by the government to do that. Okay. So if you have an issue of our actions, we have the Standards Tribunal, which is another board somewhere overseeing. If there is anything which you feel, for example, when we seize your goods, and you feel you have a right, we have seized in the wrong way, or not within the law, then you can now appeal to the tribunal. The tribunal is under Standards Act, Section 11. You can also read that, and see how the appeals are done, so that if you are aggrieved, you can actually go there, and then we can engage and see whether KEBS was on the wrong. Because actually, us, we have to mention this so that you may not stay there. We come and seize your goods and you just sit. So this is very important for you. So we have a procedure, which is a CPR corporate procedure 180, which we use for our operations. And this is actually inspection activities carried out by KEBS to determine that products placed on the market comply with the requirements set out in the relevant approved specifications, compulsory standards, and measures taken thereof. Measures is actually the enforcement. When we seize, is measures we are taking after, for example, we come to the market, we sample, we take to the laboratories, and the product fails, we come and seize the product. That is the enforcement. So we do all that. And we actually, what we are doing, that we are testing against our Kenya standards, or approved specifications, or the harmonized standards, East Africa, or adopted standards. We also adopt standards, ISO and whatever, yeah. Mostly ISO, we have adopted many standards. So our role is actually just what I've said, monitor products coming onto the market to ensure that they conform to relevant standards with respect to health, safety, and environmental requirements. And therefore, market surveillance is therefore important for the enhancement of consumer protection as well as economic development, as it helps to eliminate unfair competition. If somebody, for example, is bringing or importing products which are substandard, and they usually, if you have seen, they are sold cheaper. So your product, when you place in the market, nobody is buying them. So what we are doing, we are also eliminating unfair competition or unfair trade. The process, inspection process activities may be undertaken at design, production stage, that is pre-market. Now that is QA. QA, the lady who was here, she talked about, she comes to you on the design stage. You do everything, they take samples, The products are tested just the way she has said. Then once they are tested, they are released to the market, isn't it? And then once you get the mark. But now us, we are in the market. We inspected the market stage. That is now the market surveillance. Then post-market stage, when now the consumer has bought the product and it is not serving the purpose, fit for purpose, is not serving the purpose, he can now complain to us. Through the complaints, we are actually doing the post-market surveillance or work. So we conduct our activities in accordance with ISO 9001. We are certified, and we have also been certified to ISO IEC 17020. We are independent. We are not compromised, because if you look at and the impartiality, if you look at the work we do, in a way we are not in a way, we are inspecting products from the manufacturers, from you, isn't it? Which has been also certified by KEBS, isn't it? Then products from the imported products, which have been inspected also at the source or inspected at the entry point. So you can see we can be compromised in a way. All you feel what you are doing, it's like there is an officer in KEBS who is doing that factory or that SME of yours. And then we feel like, this is my friend. We don't want that one, we cannot. That is why we are saying we are operating under ISO IEC 17020. We have been certified by KENAS. Actually, this was it May? We got it in May, the certificate. Yeah, we got it around May. So the key processes, we schedule annual. We go for planning every year. Like now we are clearing the year. We go and plan. We do what is called risk assessment. After doing the high risk products for the whole year, we go again and assess the risks. We categorize them in a categorized manner, the ones which are high risk for each division. If it's chemical, engineering, for example, textiles, we categorize them, and then we target the products, and then we give to officers, and then they can now schedule. So we have also targeted specific areas where products are taken. Like we have realized mattresses, the substandard mattresses are taken to the village, to the remote areas. So we target those areas, not only mattresses, even these steel bars from building. They are also taken to some places where we can target and go there and check the products, whether they are complying with Kenya standards. We also do impromptu raids. These ones, we come without telling you. We plan secretly, and we do it out of intelligence. The intelligence I was telling you, you tell us. There is something happening. Whistleblower, tell us there is something happening. We plan pole. Like sometimes cosmetics industry is very volatile. You go to Isili, they are there. And what do they do? When they know we are coming, they close the shops. And so we go there impromptu. And they can also organize themselves and attack us. So sometimes we organize with police, with the DCI. We come with protection, security. We also have multi-agency activities where we involve other stakeholders, other agencies, government agencies like anti-counterfeit, KRA. We also involve actually many of them, we involve the NEMA when there is issues of environment. So we usually have a multi-agency team which goes around, and when there is an issue, we run for that. Especially now we have a multi-agency team for alcoholic beverages, which is running with Nakanda and the KEBS and others. So we also do investigation of consumer complaints. That one we do. That is our process in the market. in the shop or in the supermarket, we usually verify the marks, the permit, just the way you have been told. We check whether it is valid. If it's valid, we leave that product for the shopkeeper to continue selling. And if it is not, if it's expired, if it doesn't have the permit number, we cannot allow it, we seize them. If the products are also not labeled well, we also seize them. And that is why I was saying intelligence is very important so that we can target those products which are, especially cosmetics on labeling, we have a big problem. That one we have noted. We seize and then they come again. And sometimes we don't know where they are coming from. We have actually done a lot of surveillance at the borders. We have found there are some areas, especially Maraba, Mbusia, they bring the cosmetics through other ways which nobody can detect. What happens is that there are some women on the other side of Uganda. So what they do, they buy the products there and they carry small bits. You pay them as a trader. Cross them. You know, nobody is, government officers may not even stop you from the border and inspect what you are carrying. So at the end of the day, you might feel like a prom box or a pickup to Nairobi of cosmetics. And those are some of the things we want to look at, because it's not fair for that. It's not very fair. So we also verify the validity of the permits. And I think that's what we do in the market, as we check also, as we also sample. We sample and take the products, the samples to the laboratory for testing. Once we get the test report, we act, we enforce. So this is the same thing. The way we do it, I think you have been shown. This one I don't need to show you. Use of SMS, send it to an SMS to 20,023. So this one you know, isn't it? Most of you know. Who does not know? I think this one, we also have our toll call 1545. We also have the KEBS application, which you can download from the Play Store. You download from Play Store, I think it was mentioned, and then you can check the validity of marks. You can also check the officer, whether the number is actually a valid officer from KEBS. This is same. I don't need to continue showing you that. This one is for induction. For those who are the officers who come fresh, we usually show them all this so that they can be competent in the field. So we do. There is the enforcement actions which we were talking about. We sample for testing. We seize suspected all and confirm substandard goods. We do destruction of substandard goods. We prosecute manufacturers, stock traders. So when we get in the market some substandard product, it is not for the shopkeeper. It is for you. So even the letters we write to the manufacturer, and then we copy the outlet. That is the shopkeeper, because the shopkeeper is not the owner of the product, isn't it? That is very true. So it's you now. You are here because of this. Now you have had something. You don't say that you have sold the products to the shopkeeper. You don't have. You have the jurisdiction of that product is under you. So we will actually remove them from the market. We will prosecute you. We are collaborating with other stakeholders. The way I've said, that's multi-agency for illicit trade, like the one I've talked about, the alcohol. We actually collaborating. On steel industry, we are also collaborating, because if you have, for some past several years, you have had buildings coming down, isn't it? Because of substandard chumas and whatever. So, and also cement. So we are collaborating with others so that we can ensure that products in the market are safe. I don't need to talk about the aims of MAT. This is for Nini. These are the stakeholders we engage with. I've done something on negative impact of substandard goods. Other than the safety hazards, people get sick, especially when you have eyelid paint and somebody is painting your wall. You're also inhaling that lead, which can affect you, which is cancerous. You can also we also have many hazards, safety issues on products. Pollution of environment, that is sure. Unfair competition, that is fair trade. We want fair trade. That is why we are there in the market. Loss of government revenue, I think KRA was here. We are trying also to ensure you have the revenue. The revenue is there. Limits government vision, that is impact of substandard goods. Negative impact on national security. And challenges of enforcement, and I have several there. Poverty. When people are poor, they tend to purchase the cheapest, isn't it? Which is substandard. So that manufacturer will continue manufacturing for the poor who has very who does not have enough to sustain himself or herself. Ignorance. It also brings business lively. When one of the SMEs here, mine, is we are making the same products, and I'm selling. For example, I'm selling cheaper than you. It brings lively. Even at home, shops. You see shops. One shop is here, the other one shop is here, and the people are not buying from the other one. No. So inakuwa ni shida. Inaccurate information, new products without standards. That is a challenge we have in the market. We will find that some products don't have standards. So for us, we bring it to standards to formulate a standard for that. And we encourage you, if you are formulating another product in your factory, which does not have a standard, kindly engage standards. We have the standards division on standards directorate to handle that, so that we may have a standard. Once we find them, we might test and decide to even to seize them, especially on issues like heavy metals and the microbials. If they fail, then we won't allow it in the market. So ensure at least a standards developed for your product. Ethics and integrity. Somebody talked about bribes. Somebody can also be bribed, and your product. Ethics and bribes. Then partiality, confidentiality, those things, and that's why we are under a standard which is internationally recognized. Security, we are not secure when you are there. As I have said, we have had issues here in Isili when we were doing raids on cosmetics. Some of us were injured, and we had a convoy of DCIs, but public is not easy, isn't it? Let us be sincere. Public, dealing with the public, and when they come together, it is not easy. So we have that challenge, and pray for us. Also capacity and the resources, that's why I said we are not everywhere. You can, that is why we have told you to engage us on anything which is substandard in the market. We'll come there and then do the necessary. So I think with that, then this comes to the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. Asanteni sana.